Oh, hi there. Almost didn't notice you. Hey, did you get a haircut? You look good. Oh wait, no, that's us. We look good because we have brand new podcast art, so I hope you're enjoying that. We'll talk a little bit about that as well as our favorite memories from the last 25 years of PlayStation gaming. We'll also talk a little bit about the FF7 Remake and Persona 5 Scramble. We have a great episode this week, so don't go anywhere because a brand new episode of the Unknown Games podcast starts right... Wait, hold on, that's strange, hold on. Starts right... Huh. Ah, now.
Everyone, welcome to episode number 13 of the Unknown Games podcast. We're always happy to have you with us. It's a wonderful day over here in America. I'm pretty sure it's a wonderful day in Japan, and we have a special guest with us, so I'm assuming it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood over there as well. So we're here. Thank you for tuning in. This is a show about video games, about anime sometimes, and the occasional McDonald's burger, because we're here in Japan for the most point, and we like to give a little cultural preference, cultural outlook for
gotta represent North American lifestyle by eating McDonald's.
I've been doing that, and the voice you just heard, of course, is our co-host / host / my number one person. See, I'm just gonna refer to you as the number one person, Alex.
Please don't. I would prefer that you do it. Yeah,
it's okay. You're number two then.
Yeah, I'm back. It's me. It's Alex. Hope we're all doing well. I don't know. Stay classy.
Stay classy. Stay classy indeed. And we have a special guest. You may notice that our podcast art, the art has changed. We've been upgraded to official, professional status. We look all
nice. It looks much better. It looks much better.
It looks like something better than... I did like our previous one, but you can't deny it. We upgraded, and we're very, very honored and very happy to have our special guest with us, who drew the wonderful art, Haulau. I hope I said it right.
Hey. Yep, that's so good. Definitely like that. Hello.
How's it going?
There we go. This is actually the first time we've had 3 people on the podcast at the same time.
Yeah, the inaugural threesome, I guess.
This is... When you put it that way, now I'm like, oh, what's happening? So we're like figuring out how to speak in order. Try not to speak over each other, but it's all things happen. We're just gonna have fun. And today we're gonna be talking. Of course, we're gonna ask Haulau. We're gonna ask her how she came up with this awesome podcast art, how her career and in art, and of course we're gonna talk about some of the games we've been playing and the news, as always. So. It's really simple. Simple today, guys. Simple, everyone.
Yeah, we'll keeping it simple. So I guess we'll just get right into the podcast art then. So once again, thank you very, very much for making this for us. It looks great.
Anytime.
Yeah. So a little story about our original art is, I was thinking about what would be simple and kind of cute that would represent the podcast, and I was coming up with ideas, just totally brainstorming. So the Super NES controller that we were using previously was just a Google Images controller that I saved.
I was wondering where it came from.
Yeah. So I saved it, and then in Photoshop, I saved it as a very, very small image, and then I opened it again and scaled it up purposely. So it became pixelated, and I just saved it like that.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So literally 2 minutes of work. So.
Well, I mean, if it works, then, even if it's only a temporary thing.
But this looks much better. So once again, thank you. So how long have you been, basically doing art on the internet?
Well, it's on the internet. I think I've been posting online since around 2006, I think. So back when I was in, I think, middle school. But I've been drawing, basically all my life. Was inspired by one of my family members who, when I was a kid, we were over at my grandparents' house, and he was really good at drawing. He could draw things like perfectly from memory, and he drew us the first Pokemon movie box art with the Mew and the Mewtwo.
What?
And
Oh
it
yeah.
was yeah.
That looks like a fight poster, right?
Just
Yeah, like that one.
wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was really heckin' cool. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to draw like that guy. And I mean, I can't actually remember his name because he was some other like dissed off relative. But like, he was a really cool guy. And yeah, I don't know. That just sort of set me off on what I was doing. And yeah, I've been drawing ever since, really.
So this is like pixel art, but do you specialize in pixel art, or do you kind of just branch out?
I sort of dabble in things here and there. Initially, I started out, obviously with just pen and paper, traditional art. Then, yeah, around middle school, I swapped to when I got, a tablet, Wacom and everything, Wacom, however you want to pronounce that, I forget.
That Wacom.
Yeah, something like that. I can never
no
get
idea.
it.
Yeah.
That thing. Yeah.
The tablet that everyone uses.
Yeah, pretty much. When I got one of those, I swapped to doing 2D digital art, and that's been like my main sort of jam ever since. But I was really inspired as well when seeing some of the Pokemon sprites that they've had, throughout the years. And I used to like mash them together, and that ended up, giving me this entire sort of idea about, actually pixel art is pretty neat. What if I could do that too? So, I sort of started branching out into that as well. And then, later on with my degree at university, I started branching off into 3D art. So it's really just a complete mixed bag of things, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's-
it looks really, really good. So I would have
Thank you.
assumed that you specialize in pixel art just from how it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, 3D art and
A lot
like
of winging
traditional
it.
stuff. Yeah, it was good. So.
And I actually have a question. Like, is there like a special software that you use, or do you just like draw it freehand?
Yeah, I drew it. I don't use my tablet for pixel art. I actually find it more comfortable to just draw with my mouse. So for this one, and for some of the artwork as well that I've done for Alex for his, other things like that. I've been using Photoshop predominantly because, I can use like the different layers and everything to just make it the sort of like easier workflow, I guess, compared to like, back in the day I used to, do everything on Paint. Good old Paint. But it's,
Good old Paint.
yeah, it's a bit impractical nowadays. So yeah, mostly just Photoshop and a mouse. And
Okay.
yeah, a lot of fussing over it.
That's
Huh.
good. Yeah, no, that's pretty impressive.
yeah. Continue, Alex. Guide us.
No,
Guide us.
I mean, do you have any like from here? Like, what's the next kind of thing that you really want to challenge? Like, is there a particular art style you want to emulate, or is there just like a type of project that you would be like, oh, I want to try that out, in the future or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, I mean, I'd like to get better at animation. Like, not so much 3D animation because rigging and all that is an absolute nightmare from what I learned during my degree. Whenever the teachers, whenever like, one of the kids in the class would be all like, hey, we want to learn rigging in our free time. The teachers would be like, no, there's a whole separate degree for that. Go do that. So that's something which I'm probably not going to stray into. But like, with pixel artwork at least, yeah, the animation of pixel art, I think, is something that I'd really like to get better at. And something that I'm really interested in, but haven't really quite dipped my toe into it too much, I guess, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely something to get to at some point. As for like general art styles and things, there's a bunch of different people that I find I'm really inspired by their artwork, and like there's sort of like facets of their art that I like to be able to replicate. That I'm not quite at the same level yet, but like there's an artist called Glider who does Vocaloid PVs, and they've been one of my absolute favorite artists, ever since high school and everything. And their artwork is just really sort of like simple, but really punchy looking. And they have like say they've got like characters like Rin and Len from Vocaloid, and they're predominantly yellow and, in color scheme and everything. But then, like, they'll manage to sort of sneak in other colors into their, color palette when drawing. And, like, it looks really sort of seamless how they do it. And that's something which I'm still not quite good at. But, like, hot damn, I'd love to be able to do that someday.
Yeah,
like
Man.
that's cool. That's cool. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could eventually get there. It's a matter of practice, a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And a lot of winging it. That's my motto. My motto is just constantly wing it. Hope it works.
Just wing it. Just when in
how
doubt,
I live life. Yeah.
When in doubt, wing it out. That's your
that's
motto.
literally it. That's it. Done.
So,
new catchphrase.
Yeah, it's like the fake it till you make it mentality.
Yeah.
That's how I wake up and do my day. But yeah. So we are a gaming podcast primarily. So like it's gaming, anime life, whatever. A weeb life essentially. But
the dream.
Is there any like games that? Sorry, what?
Oh no, don't mind me. Continue. I just think all the weebs. We're all the weebs.
Yeah, all the weebs. Are there any games that have left a lasting impression on you because of its art style?
Oh, art style wise, yeah, that's a tough one. Honestly, there are a lot, and I can't really pull them to mind too easily right now. But one thing, at least, which does stick out to me, because it was like recently watching some friends replaying through different Pokemon games and things, and replaying Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Stylistically, especially in regards to pixel art, like the sprite work in that game is absolutely amazing. It's just so, it's gorgeous. I love it. I really want to be able to make my artwork, with my sprite work like that. It's like the gold standard in my opinion. And it sort of impacted how I try and go about my pixel art. In a sense, like trying to emulate sort of ways that they make their sprites look so smooth. Like, I don't know how to put it, but there's some sort of like way that they just look uncluttered and very clean, but still having a lot of style and character to them. And I think that's a really hard thing to do as well, especially in some sprites, like, how they've got like the little Pokemon, that follow behind you, and how they've got like, some Pokemon like Dialga that are a bit more visually complex, and, how they've managed to take the detail from that Pokemon and still manage to retain that for such a small, walk sprite. And it's, things like that I'm like, yep, that's cool. I want to do that. that left a lasting impression on me. Definitely.
Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I think might be up there on one of my favorite Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I've always loved Johto as a whole, but like those remakes just absolutely sold it for me even more.
Yeah.
Just because of the art style alone. Like, oh wow.
So what games are you playing right now?
At the moment, I haven't really started playing anything new recently. I've been mostly just revisiting old like classics and my old classics, I guess, like games I used to play when I was a kid, like Digimon Rumble Arena or like Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. Just nostalgic things. I guess I've sort of been like, sort of on a nostalgia bender recently. Or just things that,
like rediscovering childhood. It's a good time.
Yeah. Kind of like that. And there are so many games that, it was like, I've just sort of gone like, I'd really like to replay them because I don't feel like I get to often enough. Like, but then there are some that I sort of go the opposite direction and maybe play a bit too often because I just love them so much. Like, Final Fantasy VII. Like, I don't know, there's something about that game that just, it really did live up to the hype. And I played it like, not when I was a kid, at least, but I think this was around the time when I finished high school. And I got it for Christmas one year, and there's something about it that it just really did stick with me. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this and play this game, like, so often because it's just so fun. Like, I sort of made an annual habit of, like, replaying it every, between Christmas and New Year's. Trying to get to, like...
Every year,
really? One of those.
I haven't managed to keep it up for a while, but...
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you looking
a few things
for...
like, work and stuff like that sort of keep getting in the way, but whenever I can.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to the remake then? Because that's really soon.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's gonna be crazy. I mean, because I have a couple friends who play it every year as well, and I was just like, how can you play it every year? Because I mean, I like Final Fantasy VII, but I wasn't like in love with it enough to understand all the, all the intricacies that you can find in every playthrough. Like, what's the most interesting thing you found so far? Like,
I guess in some way there's also like the different, it's also like nuance, I guess, of like when you play it through a second time, or when you play it through like using different characters. Like I make sure that every run I have a different party composition, and somehow over all the years I've never actually had Barrett in my team, but like
wow,
that's one thing I'm meaning to get to. Absolutely, next time I play.
He's the first party member.
he's there. He's the first
there, and he's the first you kick out.
Yeah, feels bad, but I mean, I don't know. My old core team was just Red 13 and Vincent and just one other wildcard member. But yeah, no, there's just something that's really interesting about playing it through a second time, or playing it through like in a slightly different way, because like even just changing party members can drastically alter how a run goes. And you might find that you have a run that's maybe a bit more challenging because you've got different party members, or ones that might be, I don't know, a bit more fun maybe because there's like a character that you really prefer how their limit break works, for example, or or things like that. Or yeah, there's just all this sort of nuance to that, and also there's also so many different things that you can like completely overlook and miss. So you can be playing it with a guide or without a guide and have a completely different outcome to how the game went for you, because you could be missing like on my main file, on that first run that I ever played through, the remove materia is like really notorious for being missable in this one room that you never get to visit beyond one single time.
Oh gosh.
And like I missed that, and I always wanted to get that, so I sort of made a thing of every subsequent playthrough going, what, I'm gonna make sure I get that. But then in trying to remember that, I've gone and accidentally missed other ones, and it's just, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's like,
this is interesting, because like I've only played this game like 1 3/4 time. I've actually never beat this game twice. I've only beaten it once.
I'm in the same boat, Alex. I'm in the same shameful boat. I don't know. Is it a shameful boat, or are we just like...
No, I mean...
I don't know. I think it's probably a bit of an outlier, having played it more than once.
Yeah, like I'm not dissing the game. It's a good game. It's pretty fun, and I know lots of people love it, and I love it too. And I'm looking forward to the remake. But I think 1 3/4 time is pretty decent. Like,
yeah, 1 3/4.
I think the only game that I've played through, the games that I played through multiple times is fairly low, like 2 or more complete playthroughs. For me, that's FF10, 10-2, FF9, Chrono Trigger, I guess Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and I think that's it. I think those are the only games I've ever done, like completed 2 or more playthroughs. Even Persona 3, 4, 5, I've never done 2 full runs.
Oh wow! I I sort of made a habit as well of replaying through Persona 3, because
game's so good, but yeah.
Oh man, that ending, like that ending, stuck with me so bad.
You mean the answer ending, right? The ending?
Well, that and the actual ending of the base game. Like I think as well because like I had maybe a bit of a unique sort of scenario with that where for some reason, I'd already heard the ending song, but not the actual version that's used in game. I'd heard the one that I think was from Trinity Soul or something, and I had that on my iTunes like a few years back. So when it started playing, I just immediately went, "Oh my god, I know this song! What the heck?" And I think it maybe made it hit harder because I was like, "Oh man, I know this."
That ending stuck with me too, because at the time I had played through just normal JRPGs of that era. So that would have been like, Star Ocean 3 and Xenosaga 1 and 2. And then Persona 3 in comparisons is way darker. It's not the darkest game.
Oh, I was going to say it's darker than Xeno. Well, yeah, Xenosaga, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Gears.
Well, Shin Megami Tensei I think is even darker. Like those are fairly dark. Right. Yeah. So, 3 stuck with me for being both lighthearted, but also just the way that it ended was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be like this. It's really bittersweet. It's kind of sad, right?
Yeah. But it was nice in the, definitely bittersweet in the, as much as it was a sad ending, it also felt like I really don't think they should have ended it. I know, yeah. I just feel like they couldn't have ended it any other way, really.
That's
like,
true, yeah.
It was such a good, well-handled ending that,
Well,
I don't even feel sad that it ended the way it did,
It's kind of like the ending for FF10, which everyone agrees is a great ending, and then everyone's like, well, they ruined it, and like 10-2 ruined that ending.
Well, 10-2, I mean, you had to get it's one of those, you had to get the true endings, so I don't know if either people went and got the true ending, or, yeah.
Well, here, I think it's my opinion that 10 ended great, with everyone dying.
Yeah, everyone was where they should be. That sounds really horrible.
Yeah, it's not sad. It's not. It's like literally. Yeah,
it's true.
Like literally, the quote that Yuna says at the end of that game, the very last thing she says is like, "Never forget them." Right?
Yeah.
So they're dead, but they're not forgotten, and it's a happy ending. It's bittersweet, right?
Yeah.
It's such a good, powerful ending, and then 10-2 is just like, oh, he's not dead. Don't worry.
I want to reconnect.
He got better.
Yeah. He had a a new look and everything, and you were like, oh, I can't wait to see them embrace. Right? No.
No, I mean, no. I don't. What do you think? Like, do you think that 10-2 didn't ruin 10?
I think 10-2 was, to me, it's completely separate. Like, I knew it was a sequel and something like you wanted to get to kind of finish the story. But the more I played 10-2, the more I didn't actually care about. I didn't think the story was particularly handled as well as 10. And I enjoyed the gameplay more than anything else. I enjoyed just how much fun the game was overall. Like, you can boot that game up in the summer and just have fun. But in terms of story, like, I'd never really felt a good connection to 10 when I was playing it. It just felt like its own side story, That just happened to be like, hey, you can also get this little bonus ending of how it actually happens, I don't know. How about you?
Well, I mean, I just feel like thematically leaving Tidus dead was probably the better choice. But having him but having him come back in the good ending of 10-2 reverses that. It's just like, I think the theme of 10 was just like, people come and go in your lives, but they always leave a lasting impression. And, even if they're not in your life anymore, they've still changed you for the better. And that was how it ended. And then, with 10-2, with a good ending of 10, he's just like, oh, your love was so powerful, you brought me back to life, which is sweet. That's nice. I get that, but it's
nice.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's completely, like I said, like you said, the thematic tones are completely different. 10 was very somber and very atmospheric, where 10-2 is just, I just call that the girls want to have fun game, as in let's go ham. Let's just go ham. Let's enjoy everything. I love that. And then of course we had 13, which is, it's not the same, but I just love. I don't know. There are two games where I just love the gameplay itself more than everything else around it.
Yeah. Well, 13 was. I mean, I love 13 as well.
Except for the characters in 10-2 are better.
Yeah, it's one of my more like. I really like 13 because the gameplay itself is just so good. The battle system is so good.
We're gonna fall down that trap again, but I do want to say 10-2. I do love all the characters, especially Pain. I remember like the first time, like I was like, man, Pain is so cool. Like I just wish I wish I knew someone like Pain, and I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing for me in my life?
I wish I knew someone like Pain. That sounds like you must have been like 16 at the time.
I was totally 16 whenever that game actually came out.
Yeah, I think you might have been.
That was my
something
age.
that you would have said. Yeah.
Like, oh man, Pain is so cool, and Riku was just like so hype. I'm like, man, this party is so awesome. What are you doing? Shooting guns? Cool. Okay, continue.
Right.
Anyways.
That was great. Okay. Well, again, Haulau, thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for doing the art. We'll treasure it. Like we'll change our display picture pretty much everywhere. So yeah. Do you want to tell everyone like where they can find you or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Well, I'm not entirely the most active online nowadays. I think I generally tend to sort of work mostly just on, how do I put it? Mostly just sort of like off my own back and less for other people, I guess, unless, by request or, friends and whatnot. But I do have some social media pages that I occasionally do post art to when I make it. My main is my DeviantArt that, I've been running for basically the entire time that I've been online. So yeah, that's just Haulau at DeviantArt, the usual sort of thing. Yeah, that's really it at this point. I have an Instagram, but it's so sparsely updated, I don't actually know whether it's worth mentioning.
Well, if you want, we
we'll
leave links in the show notes for wherever you want.
That works too.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. Yeah, thanks again.
Thank you so much for dropping
me
by. We're honored.
Anytime.
I'm blessed.
You've been blessed by the Haulau.
Yeah.
That's the name of this week's episode.
Every week we're coming up with some great,
what have I done?
Just great gems for names.
It's always something weird that's spoken in the episode that becomes the episode title. But yeah, I guess we'll take a break then and jump into the news when we come back.
Yeah, that's right. So everyone, make sure to come back. We're gonna have a little sponsor break, and we'll be back with the news. See you then.
All right, see you then.
See ya.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the news segment. And thank you for, of course, Haulau for being with us. She's gone now. That sounds so horrible. I don't want to say like she's gone now.
She's gone now.
She's alive, but she had to leave to take care of some other business. But yeah, we're back with the news. News. You love the news like we do.
Please never do that again.
Every week we have something new for you. Every week, everyone. Every week. But this week, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 25th anniversary because PlayStation is now 25. And we're just going to talk about some of our memories.
Yeah, PlayStation can legally vote and drink in every country practically.
It can do everything and smoke. Yeah, PlayStation, you are an adult. A ripened adult. It can do everything
and smoke?
And smoke.
Why was it separate? Okay, whatever.
I don't know. I can't remember if the law here in America, like you have to be...
it's 21, I believe, right?
It's 21 to drink, but I think that you can smoke before you can drink.
What? Really? Why?
I don't know. It's America.
What a weird country.
But you can drink all of the, refills you want. And my friend,
you can vote at 18, right? So you can vote at 18.
You can vote at 18. You can vote at 18, yeah.
You can purchase pornography and star in pornography at 18.
But you can't drink.
But you can't drink, which, okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. Anyways, let's get to it.
PlayStation memories. I don't know. Like, do you have any? Because I have two very specific memories, or maybe three. Yeah, I have like three memories, but mine are all from the PlayStation 2 era. The only thing I can say about PlayStation 1 was my cousins had one, and they would play like Cool Borders and of course Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. And for me, I was just, I was still playing my 64 and I thought I was all like, oh, this is cool, And I go over to my cousin's house and they had this PlayStation. I'm like, what is this? It looks like the console itself looked just cool. Like the design of it. It just made me want
like the OG PlayStation.
The OG PlayStation. Cool like, I wanted that for some, I don't know why, but there was just something about it. Like, it felt like it was meant for teens almost, whereas like my 64 felt like it was for a child. It was childproof.
That could have been due to the design, as you said, but I think they also pushed that in marketing as well.
They succeeded. They got me.
Yeah. So you never had a PS1, you only had a PS2?
Yeah, I never had a PS1. I had a PS2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I don't have 5, but...
Okay, time traveler here. Okay. Hi, like, time traveler. What's it like? How were the Tokyo Olympics? Like,
wonderful. Akira didn't happen.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Anyways, so I had a PS1 and 2 and 3, so I've had all the generations, and the portables. I had a PSP and a Vita as well.
Yeah.
So I think PlayStation has been a pretty significant part of my life, and I think without a doubt has influenced me, you know, to the extent that I wouldn't be who I am were it not for games and anime and stuff like that. So I don't want to say like I'm thankful to PlayStation. You know, it is, at the end of the day, it is a product, but
Yeah.
you know, I have a lot of memories with Sony as well. So it's crazy to me that it's 25 years old, which means I would have
25.
been, you know, I would have been really old. Sorry, young.
Young.
I would have been
You
really,
would've been
really
young.
young when it first came out. So obviously I didn't, well, you know, me or like my parents didn't purchase a PlayStation right directly at launch. So I had to wait a couple years after that till I was older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played a lot of Crash Bandicoot, so I have really good memories of playing Crash 1, 2, and 3. Cool Borders, as you said, Jet Moto
Yes.
2. I played so much Jet Moto. But I think, and it shows, you know, with the way that I am now, that I spent a lot of time playing RPGs on the PlayStation 1.
There's so many good ones. I mean, you can go ahead and
Right.
name your list.
Well, it's short, actually. It's like, you know, FF7, 8 and 9, but primarily 7 and 9 for me,
Hmm.
and Chrono Cross.
Yes.
Like, Chrono Cross has been a really big influence for me in, like, I love the Chrono series. Even today, like, honestly, like, as I was leaving the apartment today before I left for dinner, I was listening to the Chrono Cross soundtrack all
So
these
good.
years later. It's so good. You know, the ending theme of our podcast is, you know, a Chrono Cross remix. Like,
Yeah. Like it's
it
the music for a lot of those RPGs. I mean, just in general, were good, but I found myself gravitating towards and like I said, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy 7 through 9. I like when I was in middle school, I just devoured those remixes, those CDs, the piano collections. And then of course, you know, I went back, and after I played Xenosaga, I was really curious like about the whole series, so I went back and I played Xenogears, and Gears was like, my word, I was like, this is what people were doing. Square, this is what you were on back then? Like, dude,
yeah, right?
give me some
Yeah,
more of
and
this.
it's pretty crazy, you know, and the composer of Chrono Cross is the same composer for Xenogears.
Yes.
So
I think it's like Masuda-san? Is it Masuda-san?
Mitsuda Yasunori.
Okay, Yasunori. I'm so bad.
Yeah. Really
But hey,
good, like, you know, really good music.
really good music.
So, you know, the PS1 generation was important to me, and then obviously, you know, I would try to get a PS2 just so I can continue to play RPGs. So FF10 was a big one. I couldn't play that at launch because I didn't have a PS2. And, you know, JRPGs continued to thrive on Sony's console. Like, obviously, they weren't going to, you know, N64 wasn't going to be a super great console for JRPGs, right?
And then GameCube was, well, GameCube was,
was
it
all
was,
right.
it was all right. It was there. We did
You know,
have
Tales of Symphonia
Tales of yeah.
and Skies of Arcadia and Buten Kaitos.
Yeah, Baten Kaitos. There was another.
And
There
was
was
that it?
Cold Step was totally not it's a
Nah.
card game. That's a card game. So
See, now we're struggling. We kind of ran into an early wall with the GameCube JRPGs, but yeah.
but like
So yeah, PS2, PS3, PS4. I've been on Sony for a long time. I'm
long
not obviously just exclusively Sony. I have all consoles except for an Xbox One because I've been living in Japan for the last 7 years. So
and you really just want an Xbox One in terms of like a handy down in Japan. You don't want to buy it. I'm sorry.
I would get an Xbox One. Like I've said this before, that if I was in a book off and I saw an Xbox One in a glass case that was just like, oh, it's like half off because no one wants it, I'd be like, sure, I'll take it. Like I'll play. I would love to replay Lost Odyssey.
Oh, you know, they did have their collection of like JRPGs, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, and
Blue Dragon, yep.
Near
Well, Vesperia before it became a Sony game, but
before, yeah.
Tales of Vesperia, yeah.
I think that's where
Lost
you can
Odyssey.
get Lost Odyssey, which is of course
Such
from
a good game. It's so good.
Sakaguchi.
So good. If you're a
And-
fan of JRPGs, if you're just like, I want I miss the way that they used to be made. Just pick up Lost Odyssey.
Just pick
It's
up Lost
10 years old
Odyssey.
at this point, but yeah.
They all came out around the same time too. Like that entire little
Yes.
wave that Xbox was like, hey, we do JRPGs too. Like, no, we do Japanese games. It wasn't just JRPGs, but
then-
we do Japanese games.
Yeah, that didn't really last, unfortunately, but
360, they tried. But yeah, I mean, for me, PlayStation became my console of kind of choice after my 64. I remember my first PlayStation 2 game was Armored Core, Armored Core
wow.
2, and I don't know.
Good game.
I used to read a lot of game magazines, and EGM, of course, and then Official PlayStation Magazine was, for some reason, I had picked it up, and they would always give these demo discs, and they had a guide for Armored Core, and I was into mechs and Gundams, and I just remember, like, I want this game, and I don't know how I asked for a PS2, but somehow I got it for my birthday. That and Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore.
That's a good game. Honestly, I'm not joking. That's a good game. Like,
I wish I knew how to play fighting games better, because like I could play it a little bit, but I didn't understand how to play it, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, well, it's really advanced rock paper scissors essentially with the throw grab system and the high mid low thing, but
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand how to play fighting games until Soul Calibur 3, which is also, well, Soul Calibur 2, Soul Calibur 3, which are both also on the I think 2 is on PlayStation 2 as well. I can't remember.
2 was on every console, so
It's on
it was
every, yeah.
Xbox, GameCube, and PS2. Yeah.
Everyone with their special characters. But I mean, a lot of the experiences that defined me as a gamer, after, my childhood, I guess, more my teenage years, happened on PS2. And, like you said, Final Fantasy X, like we were talking about earlier, that was one of the first RPGs I played and really understood what was going on. As a kid, you're playing them and you're like, oh, this is cool. And you kind of understand it sometimes, but that was the first time I really enjoyed the story, the graphics, the combat, everything, the music. And then there was Devil May
Yeah.
Cry, which just creeped me out. I had never played
Really?
Resident Evil, and this was like, I could not play Devil May Cry with the lights off.
That's so funny because it's not even a horror game; it's an action game.
It scared me when it said "you are dead." The first time it said that, and I remember,
You are dead.
I remember
I'm not
asking,
dead.
"Yes, you are dead," like you're dead or whatever. When that came up,
It scared you.
it scared me, and like I said, I couldn't play it in the dark. I had to ask my mom, and this is before the whole like, kids under 18 couldn't buy rated M games or something like that. I literally, because I was so uncomfortable with the content, Dante, he has guns on the cover, and I remember asking my mom, like, Mom, can I buy this game?
What? Oh my god, you pure child. That's
and
so funny.
Dude, I played because I thought the most fun thing in that game to do was just jump up in the air and just float back down after shooting. And then like that,
Oh, because you can hold the guns, right?
because you could just
Yeah.
hold it, yeah. And then Devil May Cry became like a pivotal like point for me in terms of games. Like action games, and then Kingdom Hearts, action RPGs, that became kind of like my foundation as, I guess, a gamer. And then just going back and playing so many games. I have like almost 60 games. But anyways, my favorite memory of Sony, because everyone in school knew me as like the Sony guy. They would be like, hey, should I buy this game? I'm like, sure. But my favorite memory was PlayStation 3. I was super hardcore, and I camped outside of Best Buy. No, was it Circuit City? Circuit City, which is no longer here anymore.
Yeah,
I camped
they died.
outside,
Rest in peace,
yeah,
Circuit City.
with my friend for 2 days? 2 or 3
2
days?
days.
2
Wow.
days. 2 or 3 days. I can't remember. Because there were only 7 of us in line that were going to get a PlayStation 3 on launch. But there were 20 people in line, and we all knew. We were just like, you guys aren't going to get it. And the staff had told us. And the staff was so nice because we got to go inside. Like, it was freezing outside in November that year. And they fed us food. My friend's mom brought us Chick-fil-A. Everyone in line was so
Wow.
awesome. We shared coffee. We played hearts. We played like spades and other card games. And it was the most like bonding experience I've ever had, like just doing a camp out. Because I've camped out for the Wii, and it was just, Wii was actually a fun camp out too. That was fun. But it was just insane. I was just like, wow, like I skipped high school. I skipped like a whole day of school for that. And of course, my infamous, I paid for a PlayStation Portable with my lunch money. Mom, I hope you're not listening. Yeah, I didn't eat lunch for like a whole year almost.
You didn't eat lunch for a whole year just so you could buy a PSP?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well that's dedication to the brand, I think.
And yeah, that's what I did. I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, if you had to pick like your personal best game from each PlayStation generation, so 1, 2, 3, 4, what would be your number one for each of those generations?
So for PlayStation 1, oh man, Xeno, I gotta go with Final Fantasy. Darn it, Xenogears.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
PlayStation 2, that's the largest list. But yeah, Devil May Cry is Kingdom Hearts, Devil May Cry. I can't ever go back on it. Yeah, Devil May Cry. PlayStation 3. Wow. Darn. PlayStation 3? Oh, man. This is almost impossible. Metal Gear Solid 4, even though I don't think that's the right answer for me completely, but
okay.
It was, oh man. Now I'm going to go back and look at like my entire collection because I have it here at home. PlayStation Portable would definitely be Luminous or Wipeout, one of the two.
Okay. All right.
And Vita, I sadly didn't own a Vita because I was a poor college student who had just graduated.
Okay.
And had to make his way to Japan. And I never picked up a Vita after that because I was still poor. Well, I wasn't poor, but I just didn't make time.
Okay, so Vita did not finish then.
I did not finish the Vita. PlayStation 4, man, I wish I played my PlayStation 4 more, but I guess, it's going to have to go to either oh my goodness, Overwatch or Apex. That's insane.
Wow, okay.
Sign of the times. Sign of the times.
Yeah, that is sign of the times. Just for sure, sign of the times.
What about you? What are your tops?
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. And as you said, like, you were having trouble in the PS2 era, for me too as well. But I think for PS1, hands down, Chrono Cross.
Okay.
And then PS2, it's a toss-up between FF10 and Metal Gear Solid 3.
Ooh, yeah.
But
those are good.
I think I'm gonna give it to FF10.
Okay.
Just because at that time in my life, I was still really, really into JRPGs. The PS2 has so many good JRPGs. Just Rogue Galaxy, the Xenosaga series, FF10.
I'm just remembering. I think I have Rogue Galaxy here.
Yeah. Don't forget Persona 3 is also on PS2.
Persona 4 is also both of them
also on PS2.
And then all the and then all the Shin Megami Tensei, then Digital Devil Saga too,
Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's so hard. But so I'm gonna give it to FF10. For PS3, I'm also going to give it to MGS4. Because I really like that game. I unironically like that game. I know it has its, like, people like make fun of it for the cutscenes or whatever, but it's really fun.
Long cutscenes.
It's easy to replay. If you skip all the cutscenes, it's just like a fun, quick game.
It's a quick game. Yeah.
if you skip
the majority of the game, I guess.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm gonna give it to MGS4. And then for PS4, I'm going to give it to Persona 5.
Good choice.
And for PSP, it's going to be Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Solid.
And for Vita, it's gonna be Persona 4 Golden.
No, those are all good choices. And like for Vita, like really, you don't have much to choose from. I feel. I mean, like there was Persona, then there was what's the game from the guys that did Odin Sphere and Muramasa.
Muramasa.
Yeah. They're the game that came out from them. Was Dragon's Crown.
You're talking about Dragon's Crown. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a big push on that. And I don't know. There's not too much more on Vita unless you play Minecraft.
Well, yeah, Microsoft's on everything known to man. On everything known to man. It's on like,
Everything.
every console. It's on mobile phones. It's on like the Surface. Like it's pre-installed if you buy a Surface for some reason. Like
they want you to play it. Well, I mean, it's
well,
Microsoft owned now, so
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, PlayStation. Congrats to your 25th anniversary. We we love PlayStation. We love games in general. So Nintendo, of course, Microsoft. Don't feel alone, Microsoft. We still looking forward to what you're coming out with next.
Yeah, yeah. Just Lost Odyssey 2, and I'll forgive you.
It's like, and we pay big money for that one. It's like,
I'm not kidding. Microsoft, do it. I'll buy whatever.
It could be the next
Scarlet, yeah.
Nier Automata. The next cult hit. That's not really a cult hit.
Oh, that game is so good too, man.
It's on sale. I
wanted
to tell you. So last week we had our discussion on JRPGs, and Tales of Berseria was on sale. So I bought that. And
oh, nice.
This week, Nier Automata is on sale. And
on PC or PS4?
On PC. I don't know about PS4,
okay.
but it's Steam sale. It's only $26, and I'm really thinking about getting it, but I've spent almost like $100 in the past 2 weeks on games, and I don't spend a lot on games at all.
I mean, here's the thing.
Nier doesn't go on sale often.
It doesn't go on sale often, so if you don't buy it, then you don't buy it. It might go on sale eventually, but you bought Berseria, and that's a decently long game, 45-ish hours. So
yeah, I have plenty of content, unless I just want to go buy GameStop while I'm here.
Yeah, and raid GameStop. You should stream when you get back to Japan. You should stream Berseria.
Yeah. I should stream Berseria. Like, there's so much stuff I have now that, like, I just feel like I'm just gonna just do stream constantly.
Did you pick up Rising? Metal Gear Rising?
Yeah, I picked up Rising. I picked up what's the other Vanquished.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I've got my whole collection ready. I'm ready to stream, kids.
I'm ready to stream. Yeah. So when you come back to Japan, you should definitely stream some of those games, especially if you're going through them for the first time. It'd be interesting to see someone, because I've played through them, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see someone react to them, for the first time.
You're gonna see me all wide-eyed. At least now I'm not afraid of this "you died" screen.
You start bursting into tears. Like, what do you mean I died? I'm not dead.
I'm still here. Oh man. Yeah, we should move on to the news.
Yeah.
I will say that next week, I believe, December 10th, PlayStation is having their
yes,
State of Play. So they're gonna have a couple of announcements, and I think it's only like 20-30 minutes. It's not long. Last time was like Last of Us 2 release date and some more gameplay footage. So I don't know. This time they're gonna be doing about the same thing, but they have already said no PlayStation 5 info or details. So just enjoy State of Play, and then 2 days later we got the Game Awards with Mr. Keeley, and he's gonna be, that show is also gonna have game reveals. I don't want to do the sound effects because I can't remember, but I'll be here. I'll be looking at him, and I guess we can talk about him next week. But I don't know, Alex, what's the news, man? What news you got?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, State of Play. There's the Game Awards that are coming out. I don't have a lot, but if you are a Kingdom Hearts fan, then you can check out the DLC Remind for PS4 on December 23rd. But if you're an Xbox One player, you have to wait a month for some reason. I have no idea why.
Discrimination.
Yeah.
Console discrimination.
So we don't play Kingdom Hearts, but if you are a Kingdom Hearts fan, then probably you're looking forward to this. I assume it's a significant chapter in the story. So
I think people,
there's not much we can talk about it because we don't play it, unfortunately. But
yeah, it is a weird thing. I have a friend who is a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, and she's excited for the DLC, but at the same time, the promise of 3 was that the story ends. We don't.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the end of that chapter.
Supposed to be it.
Yeah. By the way, since our last episode, we were talking about Kingdom Hearts being complicated. I did some research on what you should purchase in order to get the full story. You want to get 1.5 remix, and then you want to get 2.5 remix, and then you want to get 2.8 remix. So you buy those 3 games, which includes in total like 9 games, and then you just play all those. I still don't know what the order is, unfortunately. All I know is that you need to buy those 3 games to get the full series.
That's a good
I don't know the
question
order to play them in.
Like off the top of my head, I can only think it's Birth by Sleep 1, and then there's I think is it Dream Drop Distance? I think happens in between 1 and 2. You don't need 355/8 because it never really happened.
No, I think isn't Chain of Memories between 1 and 2?
Chain of Memories is also okay. So Chain of Memories is in between 1 and 2. Then it's 2.
Okay.
And then Dream Drop Distance. Dream Drop Distance is actually the official sequel to one of those games, 1 or 2. Okay. And then it's whatever 3, 2.8. I don't know after that.
So this is my point. The fact that we're not 100% sure. This is why I'm saying that it's convoluted. When as opposed to Metal Gear Solid, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, Peace Walker 5. There's no question about it. The names aren't crazy. You know what I mean?
There's no 358/2. There's no fractions.
Exactly.
There's no 3D Dream Drop Distance for the 3DS.
So this is why I'm saying that, in comparison, Metal Gear Solid is way easier to jump into. There's no like, where do I start? Which one is the first one? You know what I mean? So
you win.
Anyways, so that's Kingdom Hearts. And then Persona 5 Royal kind of recently came out in Japan. The English release date has been announced. It's like March 20-ish, I think, 2020, somewhere around there. So it's the first quarter of the year. So if you're a huge Persona fan and you were jealous of Japanese players, you don't have to wait too much, I guess. It's like 4 months off, but it's still kind of close. You'll be able to hear.
You'll be able to
English. Yeah,
you'll be able to enjoy it in English, and I think that's good. That's great.
Yeah. And then Atlas is rolling out the hype train for Persona 5 Scramble, which will be on the Switch and PS4. It's like a Musou game, Dynasty Warrior style. I was kind of a non-believer when they announced it. I was like, why? Why do I want to play this? And then I've been watching the trailers, and I'm like, okay, actually, I want to play this because it looks really fun.
It's also multiplayer, right? Just like other Dynasty Warriors?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's multiplayer, but they've been releasing weekly character trailers showing off just gameplay for all the main characters.
Oh, nice.
And this week they released a trailer for Yusuke Fox.
Okay.
And he looks good. Like, last week I think was on, and that was fun. It all looked fun, so I'll probably pick it up.
Just to be sure, this is for this is going to include characters from 3 to 5, or just?
I do not believe it'll include 3 to 5. I think it's 5 only.
Just 5 only?
Know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they'll have like some little bonus. Those games are always filled with a lot of bonus content for a lot of fans. At least with the Nintendo versions, and I think even like Dragon Quest, like they kind of made it a pretty good fanfare for fans. So hopefully.
I think if you're a fan of 5, you have to play this because it's a sequel to 5. Like it takes place, I think, 6 months after the end.
It's like a legit
5.
sequel? Like legit?
Yeah. Like story, it's canon. It's a canon story. So it takes place half a year. Yeah, it's like half a year after the end of 5.
The Musou team has gotten this. Oh my word.
Yeah. Oh, you have to play it. You care about the story.
Man. Shoutouts to WooForce.
Yeah. So they've been rolling out a bunch of trailers for that, and I just kind of stumbled upon this today. I think this broke yesterday in Japan. But if you are in Japan, in Tokyo specifically, between the dates of February 2nd to April 22nd, February 6th to April 22nd, definitely go to Skytree in Tokyo because they're doing an FF7 remake collaboration thing. So it's gonna be, so there's gonna like the how do you say this in English? Like the observation area, like inside of it.
The observation deck, I think.
Yeah, it will be like decorated with FF7 stuff. They're gonna be selling original goods, so just stuff like keychains and t-shirts probably, and just kind of cool stuff like that.
I bet it's gonna be really nice at night.
Yeah, I bet. If you eat at the cafe there's going to be like special collaboration food. And I don't know what it is exactly, but it says in the Skytree Round Theater, they're going to be playing some original movie thing. I don't really know what the movie is, but
I don't even know where the theater is.
I don't know either. Like I've never gone up Skytree because it's expensive to go up Skytree, and I've always been like, nah, I'm fine.
That's good. I mean, I pass underneath it every time I go to work, so. And
oh, really? Do you?
Yeah,
wow.
When friends, that's like my change station where I change.
Change lines. Skytree?
I changed to Skytree, yeah.
Oh wow, I had no idea. Okay,
Yeah.
but maybe one of these days, between February 6th and April 22nd, on your way home, just be like, oh, I'm gonna go check out Skytree.
It's like
You
one
should do
week.
that. You should do that.
Yo,
No,
just,
you
just
should go and take pictures and put them on the Twitter and stuff, and let our listeners know what it looks like up there.
yeah, especially during the release month. I'm sure they're gonna have something like maybe like change during that
Yeah,
time
you should do
from
it, man.
February to March.
Yeah, do it.
You're pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm sure our listeners are curious. So, if you have the time, I would definitely try to do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the news that I have that I think would be interesting.
Cool. I don't have anything really that much.
So,
yeah.
What'd you buy? Let's close this out like this. What'd you buy for Black Friday in America?
I bought nothing. Did I buy something?
You bought nothing. Wow, look, Mr. Restraint over here.
I mean, I bought like a bunch of, I bought all those games on Steam. So
that counts. We'll say that counts.
Yeah. I mean, I bought my mom a present for Black Friday. Wow. So I brought some clothes, I guess. That's about it. I didn't really have much. I will say, though, TVs in America, you better get on those. They're cheap. I could get like a 40, 50-something inch Vizio for $400, $500. That wasn't even on Black Friday. 4K.
Wait, what? Oh,
I can get
that's crazy, man.
I can get 4K already for like $500, internet enabled, all this stuff for like $500 for like, I still use a Vizio here at my house. It's like my first Vizio was my first HD TV back in college. It's still going.
Mm-hmm.
My mom has one. It's going fine. They have, I think the panels are actually made by LG, so you're still getting good panels on the inside. But the whole point is like, I was just like, why? Why are there so many big TVs here for such a cheap price when like in Japan, I don't know if I'm not looking in the right store, but they just are insanely expensive.
You should go to Costco because that's where I got my TV in Japan. I went to Costco and it was like $400.
Then I need to go to Costco. How big is your TV?
It's well, at the time it was big, but that's like a 46 incher.
Oh no, that's still big. That's a good size, especially in Japan.
Yeah.
Like you go any bigger and you're just gonna be sitting next to your TV.
Yeah, you're way too close. Yeah, my apartment's not that big, so I think 46 is it's just the right amount for the space that we have.
It's just the right good size. Man, that's good.
Here's a funny story about that TV actually is that I don't have a car, right? And if you go to Costco in Japan, you probably should have a car.
Did you bring it back by train?
Here's okay. It doesn't matter what country you live in. If you go to Costco, you probably should have a car. I don't have a car, so I bought this TV, 46 inches, and yeah, I brought it back on the bus and walked it back to my apartment.
Oh no!
So I was on the bus with this huge TV, and I was like, I'm really sorry. So I had to sit in the priority seats where it's for people with disabilities or who can't really walk all that much.
I have fragile goods.
Yeah, so I'm not like old obviously, so I'm kind of an able-bodied young person taking up all the priority seats with this huge ass TV, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I have to have my TV.
And you're hoping like the train doesn't get more crowded and people are like pushed up. No,
I wasn't
TV.
on the train. I was actually just on the bus.
Oh, just the bus. Okay, I mean that's you were taking up a good 4 or 5 seats then. Jeez.
Yeah, and so I can only imagine so the bus doors open, the driver looks at me, he's just like, what? Like what
are you? Why? I mean, like me and my friend, we bought a home theater system, 5.1 surround sound. Actually, no, I think his is 7.1, and we went from Akihabara back to Chiba, straight up on a train with that thing, and then we had to walk it. Yeah, and then we had to walk it about 15 minutes up a hill.
Okay, well,
that was annoying.
I hope you got exercise out of it.
We did. We got exercise, but unfortunately, it's just too much exercise.
Right. Well, yeah. I think that's gonna do it for this week.
We talked a good while. We had a good show. It was really nice to have Haulau on the show as well. Everyone, we hope that you enjoy her art. We're posting the link to her DeviantArt and I believe maybe Instagram in the show notes. And of course, the YouTube channel it's alive. It's well. Somebody's looking at it. We'll be updating it.
Go and subscribe to that as well. We'll leave a link in the show notes to that.
And of course, our Twitter page, which has been a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun on the Twitter. We've had some wonderful followers that I've met from other podcasts, and they have wonderful shows. I've given them a listen as well. But you can follow us at UGP_cast on Twitter, and of course on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes. Please leave a like, subscribe, and tell your friends, for sure. Tell your friends about the podcast. And we're hoping to do a giveaway towards the end of December for, a game on Steam. An unknown game. Oh, man.
That just came to you right now, like completely unintended.
Completely. I feel special. And
okay, yeah, no, you are.
Oh, there's so many good titles in this episode. But anyways, as always, have a wonderful day. Enjoy playing games. Remember, you set the tone. Alex, take us out with your part 2.
Yeah, be good. Be kind to each other. Play games. Have fun. Enjoy life. Peace.
Peace.